Here now. Welcome to Tuesday's Q&A. A little different background, but still same meeting. And go ahead, ask away any questions you got. You guys should be able to unmute yourselves as you need, and we'll go from there.
Well, we get it started. Any traction on the terms and conditions?
Oh, I have not asked about that actually. Let me
Yeah.
follow up on that.
Uh,
Okay, I got that written down.
I'm really here for the comments. So,
Yeah, I got you. I think that's what most people are here for. Um, I know that. So last week I mentioned that we were going to do periodic pickups. It looks like that's already been enabled, and I believe Will, your company has started using it, or I at least told Johnny about it, and so she was going to
yeah.
test it. Haven't heard any issues with it. Um,
Can
but,
can you give me a little background on what that is?
yeah. Actually, I'll share my screen. I'll get that pulled up real quick. And is it all right if I use your instance?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. Should be good. All right, so periodic pickups. Essentially, there was more people were asking about this, as in being able to set people up to have their stops be scheduled every other week or once a month, something to that nature. So that's exactly what we did, and this is how you'll be able to do it. So go ahead and look up a test customer here, and this will be on the per customer basis. So you'll go to route. This person is set to no delivery preference. So this is actually perfect. Where we're going to want to go is, I think you guys have it labeled different. Um, Most companies will say regular by appointment. Theirs says regular by day. But here you'll see periodic pickups where you can choose either bi-weekly or monthly. I hope you guys can see the drop downs here. Sometimes I know screen sharing doesn't show it. But you could choose either bi-weekly or monthly. And then here, you're going to choose the week that you want it to start for the future pickups. So if I don't want it to start this week, or if I do want it to start this week and I want it to happen I should probably choose a route too. Let's just choose route one. You can see it runs every single day. We'll choose any time so that way we can just blanket choose a day. And then from there, we'll choose a starting week, whether it's this week, next week, whatever, or if it's previous weeks. Hey, it was actually supposed to start on the 9th, and these guys are going to do every Tuesday and Thursday. Save it, and then it will continue to do that every other week. Or if you're to do it monthly, choose the week that it started on. So this next week, the second week of March, they would get those next stops. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I do have another question. I think I asked this last week, or maybe I did, maybe I didn't. There's no way to get a KPI of performance, is there?
I've been working on that. I'm working on finding the best method to get it requested, so that way it at
Okay.
least gets seen and done. Um,
Right.
and so Josh and I have been talking about it because he also thinks it's a good idea. Since how more and more people are asking about it, and I think there's no good data to be pulled from it. First, I know that we do need the inspection part to be done, so I know I created that detailing report. Hopefully that worked for you.
That did, yeah. So we have a developer that once I gave him that key, he noticed, I could actually tell you what, give me 2 seconds, what he actually said. So there's your response. He wrote, hi, the query you provided earlier, which is your API key, works well, but I need to adjust it because smart return columns without IDs. So I can't compile the data into a table. Is it possible to give me access to the UI so I can test it? It can also be low level access. So I gave him access.
Hmm.
I created him an account, a test account, and then he wrote back, thank you, logged into the system and all the queries. I need to create performance charts by hour there. I will start working on it and let you know. So him getting into it, he was able to figure it out,
Okay, that's
is
good.
my understanding.
Perfect. Yeah, I know the one thing that I'm waiting on to kind of finish what I'm building so it can be defaulted into everyone's instances is that I need inspected by an inspection date to be put into reports. It's actually not something that you can filter by, which is surprising, but because we have all the data, we house it all, so it shouldn't, at least in my perspective, it shouldn't be that difficult to get in there. But um, I'm not the one who's putting it in there, so
Right. Yeah, that would be helpful because then we could really, because how we're using Smart right now, I think I've told you this before. We don't use your guys' time clock. We use our payroll company's time clock so we can do a true time and attendance
Hmm.
by department. And then what we're using with your guys' time clock is our production stations. And so if we could end up pulling performance from inspection and from mark-in, then I can drop it into the dashboard that we built, pulling API to give us that information.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I'm right with you. I think it would be super valuable for not only you but a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and I think that if you look at everything that's happening in like the point of sale space, when you look at the cleaner marketing, the wash repress or whatever his company is, be creative, all of them, they're
Hmm.
all creating dashboards around the thing that point of sales are missing. It's not just you guys, it's Spot, Clean Cloud, all of them. And what that is a real strong PPOH that crosses over into productive labor and
Yep.
being able to combine those two to get you the right reporting, where it ties in piece count, it ties in price increases, all that data. So they're really building a lot of things around that are pretty interesting. But I think at the same time, I think any point of sale company, if they want to dedicate some time, they could immediately take that business away from them, which is a little sketch.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. I know the background behind it as to why it's difficult for us, and that's a barrier that we're currently working on breaking. So that way, once we get through that, then everything will be. I think it'll be much easier. That where you may not even have to contact us to be able to get these reports, as in it'll be so fluent and so easy to build.
Right. All right. No, that's great.
Uh, yeah. I'm excited to see what it turns into, or even to just test it really.
Yeah.
All right. Um, I'm assuming you don't
Enrique,
have
how
it.
was the wedding show? Obviously not there.
He's there. I know he went.
Here, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Better than I expected, to be honest. First year doing it, so it was really good. Really good.
I heard you ran into some of our people down there.
Yeah, I was just kind of roaming around, and I saw you guys there, and I think there was somebody else there too. I think like Seattle wedding gown specialist, some other guy.
Yeah,
Personally,
that's
let me say, I thought it was very interesting having only two players in that market. It's not like right away, but I thought it was. I was like, whoa! If there's only two guys here. There were so many DJs. There's so many other creative businesses, right? Trying to get those people. I literally thought I'm like, oh, there's only two other players. If we're the third player, there's nothing wrong with that. And my strategy was get as much as information as I can from the brides and follow up with them. That's pretty much it.
yeah. So Tyler, no more screen sharing on my side.
I mean, oh, you don't need anything else.
No, I'm just messing around. He's in
Oh,
the
okay.
same market. He's in the same market as I am.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not taking him under your wing.
Oh God, no. I want to
Oh,
crush everyone around me.
hey, I
There
feel
is
that.
no there is no space for multiple dry cleaners. There's only one dry cleaner. Sorry, Enrique.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean that's the attitude to have.
If I may also say, there's been a couple of times that Will, you've shared stuff directly with me, and just I wanted to thank you for that.
Enrique used to work for us. His brother used to work for us also.
Oh,
And
really?
then they went out and they started their own. And like I said, most of the time I'm just playing around. But
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah.
All right, let's see. Do we have other questions?
Hi,
I
Tyler.
know it. I knew it. Yep. What's going on, River?
I always have something.
Uh-huh.
So I was just looking in our delivery history here for some of our customers, and it's now showing the time that they complete the stops, and it's showing the location that the stops are actually completed at. And I wasn't sure if that was the new delivery app itself or if it was that we have optimization turned on.
Yeah, so it's actually just the fact that you have optimization turned on. And I'm gonna share my screen just in case if those those who are watching don't know what we're talking about based on that description. So essentially, it's this part right here showing that it's completed at 9:03. This is just an example showing the delivery verification and the pin drop. I was hoping that there was another one that I could find that'll show okay, perfect, yeah. So this one shows a duration. So now it's going to show based on if once the driver is within, I believe it's 100 meters from that physical location, it'll start a timer to show how long it took the driver approximately. As you can see, it's rounded up 2 minutes, so they probably did it in just under 2 minutes, just over 1 minute, to complete the stop. So that way, it's better for the cleaners to track how long it actually takes the driver to complete their whole day.
I
But
love it. It's so
this
nice.
isn't from this isn't from the new app. This is something that we upgraded with the company that runs the optimization. It's something that they added, and so we took part in integrating that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I see two other people that like to ask questions as well. Any questions, any issues, any weird things that happened within, the last couple weeks?
I think you should just cancel the meeting now.
I know we're getting to that point. I think last week we ended a little early, and then not even 5 minutes after ending it, I think somebody tried joining in after we had already ended it, and they hadn't joined before. So, but that happens.
Yeah. How does it tell? Like when you, I probably should know this, but that's why I'm asking. Is when you have optimization on, and it says to the customer when it's predicting drop-off times, correct?
Yeah.
How does that logic work?
Yeah, so it bases it off of the total time that you have listed for your delivery. So your deliveries already have a stop and end time. So if that time frame is less than, I want to say it's 9 hours. I want to say, if that start and end time is less than 9 hours, it'll show you an approximation, or it'll list that time frame.
Yeah, because I think we have 10 drivers and they all work 4 10s. And so since we do 10 hours instead of 9 hours, does that then affect that?
Yeah, yep. I think it'll just then say, hey, we're in your area, and it won't provide a timeline. It'll just say
Will
we're
it
in your
provide a
area.
timeline for everyone up until 9 hours?
As in
Or does
every
it just
customer.
not work at all? Like if you go over 9 hours, and if you do go over 9 hours, can you expand that 9 hours to 10 hours?
Maybe. I'll have to ask on that, but it's because it's one of those things that's hard written, so it's not a variable time, and it's based off of your pickup or your start and end time that is listed on the route.
And does that only show on the phone? Because I'm in the driver module right now in Smart, and it doesn't say a start and stop time. It just gives total stops.
Yeah,
For each
underneath
route.
the route settings, the individual route settings. So when you go to,
if I do, got it.
And then
got it.
Yeah. So you'd find whatever route it is, and then you'll see. I think you guys are generally 9 to 7.
Yeah.
I can check to see if we can make that variable.
And I would just say, even with me, I would not change anything without the approval of Johnny or Kendall.
Yeah. There are definitely select companies that I keep in mind, and who reaches out to us and who doesn't. Recently, I had a CSR call from a bigger, not massive, but a bigger client. And they were saying something about their drop ticket count, and they were like, well, now it's printing 1, it's supposed to print 2. And I essentially was just trying to explain to them, like, hey, you're a CSR, you guys have 8 other stores. Could somebody from another store have called us and asked for this to be changed, as in a manager or something? And this CSR just told me, no, that nobody else would call you guys. It's just me. And I was like, okay, well, I need a manager in order to make this change, because I don't believe you. Sorry. I've never heard of you, and I know this company that you work for. So I just can't do that. So it does come down to discretion and kind of knowing the company that you're working with. And especially for you guys, it's Johnny, Kendall, and you.
And I'll always defer to them.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because the day-to-day operation is them, not me.
Right. So it's can we get a variable, or Route time notification. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll discuss that with somebody after this meeting just to see what we can do.
Okay. Thank you.
And then same thing with the terms and conditions to see where we're at on that. Have you been in communication with Dawn about it at all?
The last thing I sent Dawn was, I don't know who sent this out. I can't remember. Maybe it was like on a forum. But right now there's a class action lawsuit when it comes to marketing and sending text messages and being able to take yourself off of that. And there's some dry cleaners that are involved in it. So I ended up clipping that, sending it to Dawn and saying that this is also why it's important for terms and conditions. Because if you don't have within your terms and condition the ability to opt out, and then you start texting marketing and they don't want it, and you don't give them an out when they sign up, then you're responsible for it. And it's per transaction, not per business.
Right.
And so if it's per transaction and we have, you send out how many marketing emails and then suddenly it comes back, you have one person who then complains or goes to the Better Business Bureau or something. And then that's why, so I threw that back at him saying, hey, that's the other reason why a terms and conditions is important with a few check boxes, because there's not anything that I sign up for now that doesn't throw its term conditions at me, where you have to check the boxes and say, hey, I'll allow this, I'll allow that, and then move forward.
Yeah, almost everything. Even when you're simply purchasing something nowadays, it pops up right in your face. Yeah.
And so, but no, I have not heard back from him.
Yeah, I know. Last I spoke with him about it, he was on board about doing it. So, I know that much.
Okay, good.
Hey, I wanted to kind of ask about that terms and condition thing as well, because I know that Will has mentioned it at least a couple of times that I've been on, and from my understanding is that he wants it for whenever, I guess, customers are signing up for something or putting in their information, just like you do whenever you're signing up, I don't know, like for Uber or something, Uber Eats or something. And I think we've also seen some stuff like that where, like, let's say it's a husband and wife, and the wife puts their credit card on file, and then later the husband calls and he goes, well, I never agreed to this, and like, y'all never got my approval, this and that. So I think I would like to also see something like that as well. And in my experience, it's always just been like a checkbox. You can click the blue text to open it up, read it, which, I mean, I don't think anyone ever does, but it's still there. And I think it could be beneficial and could, save our butts in some instances where people are actually, like upset about something, and we can say, hey, well, this was there.
Yeah.
Is there like a legality reason, or like, I'm just curious as to if there's any holdback on your end there, on Smart's end?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the holdup would be, other than just making sure that everything is correct, and so it'll log everything and make sure that it integrates well with already existing customers and how that'll work. So I think it just comes down to a testing process rather than a can we do it and why isn't it done? You know what I mean?
Okay. And then a question to add to that would be, would we have our own like option to like kind of add to that, where like our terms and services, like terms and conditions for our specific business, where we have our own like what our rules are for like filing claims, or if you don't pick up your clothes in X amount of months, that we can add those ourselves in addition to the whole, just the general long terms and conditions?
Yeah, the way that it's been described to me is that it would be on the cleaner to produce the terms and conditions that they want. I'm sure that we could come up with a default one, or maybe not. Maybe it's just, this is strictly on the cleaner, on the company to create their own terms and conditions, which you probably already have. Just maybe in paper form. Here, let's put it on a digital platform and make sure that there's a checkbox and that it logs everything. So yeah, that's exactly how it should work.
I think it has to be specific because every state is different. like
Exactly.
to the greater degree of what it is, it's going to have to be able to be manipulated.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. And same with the like the release forms and so on. I know some places might want to do it differently than others, and then of course the whole legality aspect of like by state and wherever you're located. I know some people are in Canada and whatnot, so yeah, I think that would be a good way to kind of save like or have a little protection barrier just in case something like that happens.
Yeah. So I mean, with release forms, most cleaners are already using it with the manual templates. And they just generate them on their own, and then because they manually have to send them out. So
Yeah,
it's just all a manual template.
gotcha.
All right. Very good. Other questions?
Tyler, I wanted to throw in there for the marketing side. Um, we do a terms and conditions page, a pretty blanket one that our clients get to edit whenever they have a website with us. You might consider having that link to that terms and conditions page to whoever wants one, like for their website, because that would probably be the best spot to put it, so it's out there for everyone. And then we can just link that, and then when you click on that link, the option to check mark it completed is there. That way it's easier than, every cleaner having their own page written out within the POS.
Yeah, I could see that. Is it still logging it in some way, somehow within the customer's profile, the way that you have it set up?
The way we have it set up, no, because we would need it to be done on Smart's end to log that click, basically. So like they recognize, oh, the link has been clicked, so they have been directed. Now they can mark that as a completed task.
Yeah, I think what the end goal is that it's completely streamlined with Smart, so that way they open up Smart as soon as they see it, or they open up the customer portal, whatever it is, whatever they're opening up inside of Smart, they have to click a checkbox that allows them to proceed. If they don't, see you later. All right. Other questions or comments? All right. Seems like we may not have any other questions. I'm not sure if we want to end early. Oh, Enrique, sorry, I see your message. Yeah, I believe Chris is in there right now.
Hey, Taylor, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hey, I have a quick question, just real quick. You know how I think it was last week, how we were talking about just continuing to structuring the route. Should I submit a big ticket for that? Just because again, I'm gathering more points in terms of, we already do it, but again, I want to do it more with you guys and going down that deep dive and sharing more stuff. Should I submit a ticket, share a review, or I know it might be even a couple days, like a couple sessions, right? How would we go about that?
Yeah, so I think it's easiest to open up a ticket because then you have something that you can always reference back to. And then as well, if it's like, hey, you haven't heard, say if I get the ticket, say if you haven't heard from me in a couple days, or if the last thing you told me maybe I didn't see or something, you can always like just write back and just say, hey, just checking in, rather than email. I mean, I guess you can email.
No, I understand. Just because it's going to be a couple of things. I know it's going to be the route, and I'm still thinking about the marketing. And I think Tony is the guy that does that department, right? I believe so.
Yeah, but if you haven't signed up with marketing, you'll have to go through your salesman first, and then once you do that, then
Yeah, we haven't. I feel like it's just something that I want to do it all together in once, just because the information, the data, and then structuring it, and then as well as hopping on that, and then the way I see it is trying to do it for the first 90 days. And then still internally thinking, okay, we're going to do it down here in the city, but we finally want to turn on the Marysville route, and because there's just so much there. This actually yesterday, everything that I've been talking to you about, I had like, I don't know, not that many. I had like 6 orders that were relatively big. And I'm like, I'm just going to drop them off. I'm not going to call them, and I'm going to be like, and actually one of them, sent stuff back, and it just reinforced where it's like those customers, they already have stuff piled up in their house. I just need to go in there and drag it out and not wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think for your company and specifically, I think you guys could benefit from running the route 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times a week, as long as you split it up based on location and space out the days so that way production has enough time to get them done and the turnaround time based on routes. I think if you get all those check boxes checked, you'll be very successful.
Yeah, and thank you for that, because I see it. I see it. I see the data coming in. It's just, to your point, to continue structuring it. The idea is to have the Saturday come down to the city, and then Monday. Give me 1 second.
And I guess while we wait for Enrique, I think one of the biggest things, I mean, even though there's only two other companies in here right now, if you are trying to get with support and you need not necessarily a quick answer, or I mean, it sometimes is quicker to get a ticket answer rather than a phone call, just depending on the time of day. But I think it's always best to just put in that ticket so that way we at least have it. As long as it's submitted, there's a way that we can go find it, even if it gets lost in somebody else's inbox or something for whatever reason, right? There's always that record of it, and you can always go back and find it and type into it and ask questions. So I think ticket method is very good, especially what you're talking about, Enrique. It's going to be a long process. It's not going to be a one answer. Here's your resolution. See ya. No, this is going to be probably a month long thing where you're testing things, changing things, constantly altering things, and then going from there. It's a building block. You just keep going.
No, you're right. You're right. We don't. Again, I don't want to take anybody's time. I know people. Or if brand new people are coming in and asking other questions. Is there a way that I can continue to have this conversation with you today, just a little bit? I know Chris is in the support line. I know if you have other things or other stuff that you have to get to, I totally understand that. I just want to have it with you, as well as with Chris or whoever that's currently has helped me out throughout the past. Because I definitely want to start doing it. I already have it, as I was sharing with you. Saturday for the city, and then Monday, my whole team is up there on Monday, and then I have all this time, especially in the mornings where all the production is doing the work. It's kind of low in terms of customers walking in or calling. And then I'm like, holy crap, I could knock this out in 3 hours, 4 hours, go literally in the village. You'll see more the more I discuss this, I like to use Google a lot, and I'll be able to tell you, I'm like, oh, these are the areas, because I don't want to be commuting, and I share with you, like commuting to a house, even if it's a really nice house from far away, and then I'm like, they only said a sweater. I'm like, what? Compared to being and I really see it sometimes, it has like 2, 3, 4 addresses in one little cul-de-sac, right? Or something, I think that's what they're called. And then I'm like, holy crap, just if I knock again, and go build that.
Yeah. As for meeting up after this, generally Tuesday afternoons, I'm booked out into Wednesday mornings, but Wednesday afternoons, so probably like Wednesday mornings for you, but is when I start to get availabilities. So not directly after this call, I won't be available, but tomorrow afternoon we could definitely pick up with this conversation.
Is Wednesday usually your day? For me, would it be somewhat Wednesday morning? For you, Wednesday afternoon? Is that usually the days that you have a little bit more time?
Yeah, Wednesday afternoons. Yep. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my pack days. Those are the days that I have the most going on. I've got multiple company meetings as well as booked out meetings generally for both days.
Yeah, I get it. No, yeah, I definitely want to follow up with this just because I want to turn it on. I want to continue to test things out. And I don't know if it's ideal, but I also want to turn on smart marketing, because it's like kind of a couple things at once, like getting the route, having customers already that use us. And I've had discussions with them about dropping off their stuff. I've gone delivered the stuff without basically using smart, but everything is in there. Like I'm just like, oh, this is there. I have the address. I can just put it on my phone and I go there without creating a stop, without using the app, without basically adding all of that. But I want to start doing it, just because I feel like that's going to be easier. I feel like that's also going to be better at scaling than kind of what I've been manually, and I want to scale it more. So that's what I'm just thinking about. And you're right. I think it's going to be a month or a long time process than just a one time thing.
Yeah. So going back to, I'm going to share Ben Zinger's real quick again. Using the app, I think if you want to run routes, it is paramount that you use the app. You have to, because I mean, obviously you see some red here, which could be one thing or another, but it's better than seeing the entire thing being no bag, no delivery, or just not completed stops whatsoever. That's the other side of things. The way that you're doing things currently, from the way it sounds, is that seems how you're not using the app whatsoever. Is that either A, there's no stop awareness, like there's nothing going on there.
You're
So
right.
whenever you come in here, this doesn't look like nothing shows completed.
There's nothing there at all. There's nothing there at all.
So
Exactly.
when you have this is also a safety blanket for you, because then you have an exact date, time, place, order delivered for this example. So when this customer comes back and says, hey, I never got this stuff, well, you can go back and clearly show, like, hey, nope, it was completed at this time. Here's this. Now, for this example, there isn't a delivery photo, but you can even get into the delivery photos. So we can say, hey,
that was updated recently, right? Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, and we do have this on, and again, the more we talk about it, we do have this on for our Seattle customers. So there is this, but it's just not that much, And then honestly, like I was telling you about being disappointed, we're just not hitting the numbers in terms of like that I would like to. But I'm like, we already have the infrastructure is smart, right? The customers are coming in. So I'm like, what are we already have the van. We already have basically the branding. So I'm like, what is it that there's a couple key points I feel like we're missing, where I'm like, I mean, every day or every week, and I don't want to sound like this, but Will was talking about wedding gowns. Humbly, I'm saying every day I should get a wedding gown. Every day there should be a wedding gown that comes in, and I feel confident in having the team that can do it and that we can deliver. Not just like the aspects of delivery, like delivering that service. And I think about that every day. We should get a wedding gown, and then now I'm thinking on the route days, the Saturday and Monday, I'm like every day we should have at least five customers or more. That we go to their houses, pick up, drop off.
I think it's you guys could get much more than that, because so my idea, what would be best for your company, would be to get your route structured first. Step one, routes are structured, all of them, every single one of them are structured based on days, on when they are going to run. And then from there, you get on marketing, whether you're ready for it or not. You get on marketing and you send out your first marketing blast to all of the people that are already on routes.
I agree that he should get on marketing first.
Well, see, and then that's the other thing, is you could do that, but where I don't want you to fall is getting on marketing first, sending out a blast, and then you are not ready for your routes.
No, you can have that set up and ready to go, but I'm talking about for like the other things, like his wedding gowns. You can be
wedding
blasting
gowns?
his people out all the time, but however much you want. Getting those items in the door while you're getting the routes set up too.
Yeah, no, I hear you guys. Yeah, thank you both for the input. Yeah, to the smart marketing, you're kind of right in terms of not having the structure in the van, the route, if the route comes in. But again, we have all of this data that I'm sitting on, and I'm like, I don't need to knock on doors. I don't need to go out there and continue to knock on doors. I just need to continue to structure it where, once we send out that mass email, it's all part of it. I think somebody else has a question. If you want to go to them, they can.
Yeah, sure. George, what's going on?
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yep, we got
Sorry. I'm glad I got you guys. I know I'm late. Question: Stripe fees. How does that get inputted to Smart? So Smart is pulling that information directly and updating as it goes.
Stripe sends us that information, but I think I know what you're angling towards, because I saw that you put in a ticket earlier today.
Yeah, I was matching up like what my 1099 says and then what Smart says, and the payouts are different. But if I look at the year, like, I guess it can make sense. But I'm just trying to understand, like, trying to break down what it was monthly. And if I need to look in Stripes doesn't make it, I guess I don't know how to use the Stripe platform to easily find that. It's per payout, right? So it's not like a monthly statement kind of setup, right? Does that make sense?
No, I think I got two different questions there. Like, you started asking one and then it jumped to a different part of the report.
Yeah. So Stripe sends you the information, and then that's what we see when on the credit card deposit.
Right. So credit card deposits report is all information that is given to us based on the deposit transaction that has already been submitted from Stripe to your account. So we are getting the information after the fact. So that's why we know that if you come to this report, that it is going to be 100% accurate as for the deposits and what happened, because we're getting it after the fact.
Okay. And that same information is found on Stripe. Should I be cross-checking it? That's when you say 100% sure, that's kind of what I want to know. Or do I need to go to Stripe and check out find the same information and just make sure it all matches up?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is, what number are you trying to match up?
The fees. So in my reporting, so for the end of the year, right, I grossed a different amount than what the payouts show. So I need to up the gross minus the credit card fees, and then that should bring me back to the number that I have with deposits only. So there's information missing from my bookkeeping, right? So what's the real picture? I really actually made this much, but it cost this much. So there's an expense in there that I need to add in my bookkeeping, and I'm trying to line it up, figure it out. I can do it now at the end of the year, but I should be doing that monthly, and want to know if that information.
I would almost say that you should be doing it weekly until you get it down perfect. Until you can find your groove of like, okay, I trust this. I know that this is right. I've been doing this for 2 straight months every week, and it has not failed me yet. I'm going to trust this, and now I'm going to move to bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, stuff like that. That's just me. But so the first thing that we have to remember is that based on the credit card deposits, you have to make sure that you choose the correct date range. So although first we have to figure out what date range we're trying to find, and then we have to make sure that those are accurately displayed in the report that we're looking at. As in, if I choose January 1 to December 31, is it pulling all of the data that I need, or is it pulling more? Because remember, batch days are variable, or they can be variable. So you could be starting, or you could be looking at January 1 to December 31, but turns out January 1 is actually activity of December 30th to the 31st. So is that included on my 1099? Should it be? If it's not, I remove that. And so then it comes back to, all right, let's move on to the next day, So once you find your left and rights and you know your dates, your start and end time, that's great to start. The other thing to find your total, and obviously it goes back to the dates thing. So once you get your date set and you go to that credit card deposit screen, scrolling down to the bottom, you're going to see those totals.
Fee, growth, and then net payout.
Yeah, exactly. Now I don't know if those numbers will match exactly what is on the 1099, because I don't know what's on a 1099. So that I would have to see physically in front of me to kind of
1099. Yeah, that's what I was kind of looking at. The 1099 breaks it down by month, and the first month matched, and then it just fell apart after that. It was kind of like a couple $100 up, down, and I was just, whoa, okay, this is.
So then that probably comes down to the batch days. It probably got a little weird right after February because there's 28 days. So as soon as you get to February, I do expect it generally is when people have problems. Especially for statement customers, they are like, well, it's supposed to go at the end of the month, but it's not in the plus 31 or 31 plus. Well, it hasn't been 31 days. So, that's common question all the time. So that also plays into an effect of, what does a calendar year look like?
Yeah. And my accountant tells me, okay, it's ideal to document it monthly, but I can just put in an entry in the end of the year that matches everything, but it's still kind of like, it's still weird. I don't want it to be a flag for an IRS, right?
100%.
Just one crazy entry there.
Right.
Okay.
So I think I do know that your ticket was sent over to our accounting team, so they can, because they have the access to view into Stripe and to look deeper into it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure when they will reach out. I can always talk to them and see what's going on. But obviously, if you don't hear back,
okay, I'm in queue. And just kind of yeah. I'm sure I'm not the only one, or
no, there was
maybe
I think everybody.
what's best practice, right?
Yeah. By from what it seems, because I think there's five, maybe five companies that reached out about their 1099. So no, you're not the only one, and so they're researching right now to see what happened. And from what I've heard is that this is fairly normal, that people do have these questions around this time of year in regards to
Yeah,
1099. So
yeah. Okay. Thank you. I got you guys. All right. Thank you, Tyler.
of course,
Appreciate it.
yeah. All right, we've got a couple more minutes here. Enrique, go ahead.
Hey, so well, we were discussing about the route. I'm gonna submit a ticket, and I'm already doing stuff. Maybe you guys could have done it for us or do it for me, but I'm already dividing, the all the information that I have, and I turn on a geofencing because you'll teach me more of this. Because every single time customers sign up, and I don't even know if getting with the marketing, when we do our own website, I'm like trying to push my brother to have you guys do our website, because I mean I'm just being transparent, right? All the websites that you guys have for other dry cleaners are all the same, but the clicking points are all where they're supposed to. Like the delivery is right in the top of the corner. It's all the same, which I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you guys know, right? You guys, I'm sure you guys have spent a lot of research or are doing it, and that's what works. Because again, where I go with this is once people sign up, I want to know if they're coming from up there, if they're coming from down here. And you literally helped me out with the communications when you changed the channel. And because there's a lot of stuff that I have to follow up with. But it helped. It's already helping. And then I'm like, oh yeah, in the future, once we get more, I want to be able to divide all those people, then and they're where they're supposed to be. And I try not to say no to customers, but there's a lot of customers are really far, and where I just say, I'm like, oh, we're just not in that area, you would like, and some people do, they commute to us, not because we're the only option, but we stand out. So it's like, oh yeah, you're more than welcome to stop by and see if we can provide you a service. When I submit the ticket, should I put your name and say just Tyler structuring route and launching, figuring out whatever, honestly, whatever you guys think is best. This guy should
yeah,
go
just
on right now.
yeah,
Have him
yeah.
sign
You can
up.
just put in there, restructuring routes, for Tyler, something, yep, whatever it is. Well, it'll get to me.
Okay. Because I'm literally gonna go to the support line, and if there's somebody there again with all of this, because you guys are all super helpful. He'll probably just reshare some of the information that you have.
And so you did mention something real quick. You did mention that you said that you turned on geofencing. I went and checked real quick, and geofencing is not turned on.
Yeah,
But
no,
it does look like you started building the location that you want.
yes, because I had a question of, again, once people sign up, right, and I wanted to know this. Does geofencing work? Like if somebody's already around that area and signing up, but has no address, does it know already that it's coming from around that area or no? I was like, is it something fancy like that? I was like, how would it know, right? Because I was like figuring out that. Or is it only
No.
actually finally add the address? Once they add the address, that's when they finally go to that. Is that how it
Yeah.
works?
Yep. It's waiting for them to associate an address to their account, and then
Got it. Okay, because I was like, whoa. I was like, how could you? I was like, how could you figure out where they're coming from if they haven't added an address yet? But you're just explaining to me. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll just continue to do it on my end, and then I'll follow up with you. And thank you for doing this to me. This is very valuable time, just giving other people with their stuff. So.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, I guess we'll wrap it up for today's meeting, or this week's meeting, and I'll talk to you guys next week. All right. Have a good one.